Are you one of the many people wanting to leave the United States when you retire? If yes, you are part of a growing minority. The desire to leave the US for retirement was, for the most part, a desire to save money for most people. It is expensive to retire here in the United States unless you want to live in a shack 3 miles down a dirt road in Pug Tickle, Arkansas. In recent years, more people that can afford retirement in the United States just want to leave for what they consider a better life in another country. Some people are even retiring on cruise ships. Oh God, that's a dream of mine. I would love to retire on a cruise ship. Anyway, today's video goes off the World Bank's Retirement Index Score. When they do this study, they rank countries by several different things, including affordability, political stability, safety, both physical and financial, and of course, healthcare. They have some other things in there, but those are the big ones. After that, they give them a percentage score. Most people consider anything above 60% as good, and anything above 75% is amazing. Nobody has ever gotten above 86%. People are gonna ask, so I'm gonna tell you. The United States is not on this list. In 2021, they were ranked 18th. In 2022, they dropped to 20th out of 47 Western countries that were included in this. If you guys wanna see a video about the Eastern countries for retirement, let me know in the comment section below. But today, we look at the 10 best countries in the West for retirement. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 10, the Czech Republic. Retiring in the Czech Republic has become an attractive option for many US residents seeking a nice, peaceful, culturally rich environment. On top of that, it is pretty cheap to live here. It's so cheap you'd expect the whole place to be like in poverty, because that's how it is in the United States. If it's really cheap, it's a bunch of really poor small towns or neighborhoods. The Czech Republic has a really high quality of life. They've got great healthcare, plenty of things to do. Most people feel the locals are friendly and welcoming. A couple years ago, I did a video about countries to move to in Europe, and I brought up the Czech Republic, and there's this one YouTuber that's lived there for like 4 years at the time. Probably been about 6 now. One piece of advice he gave was, make sure you at least make an attempt to learn the language. It'll make life a lot smoother for you. Now, as you'll learn on this list, a lot of these places are really nice, but they're very expensive. Czech Republic does not have that problem. It's in the top 10, and it is extremely affordable. According to the World Bank, the purchasing power in the Czech Republic compared to the United States is about half. So if you bought $100 worth of stuff in the United States, that same stuff in the Czech Republic would cost $47. The Global Retirement Index score is 73% in the Czech Republic, and the World Bank says you need about $1,450 US to live here comfortably every month. Now keep in mind, we're just looking at the best places, money we're not too worried about in this video. Number 9, Denmark. There's a lot of good things to say about Denmark. First of all, it's got a free public healthcare system. It's considered one of the best countries for businesses and foreign investment. It is also one of the greenest countries in the world, with wind and solar accounting for about 46% of the electricity consumption. As a result, Denmark's economy is a little more resilient, and its economic growth could be more sustainable. Now, on top of all that, Denmark has plenty of things to do, and the locals are considered welcoming and friendly. And whenever I bring that up, there's always a bunch of people that want to dispute it, no matter what country I'm talking about. They always want to leave these comments like, oh, they're really mean there. They were totally rude to me and treated me like garbage. And you know the rest of the story goes, I got drunk 3 nights in a row, broke 4 windows, threw a bike in the canal, started 3 or 4 fights, and tried to get a massage from an Uber driver. They're totally rude. If you want to live in Denmark, I would suggest doing none of those things. The World Bank says their Global Retirement Index score is 74%. $100 worth of stuff in Denmark will actually cost you $109. What you need to live in Denmark comfortably, in US dollars, is $6,100 a month. Number 8, the Netherlands. Now, there's a bit of a controversy when I brought these two countries up next to each other before. It wasn't as much a controversy as someone didn't pay attention in geography class. I put these two up in different spots. One was like 7, the other one was 6, and someone in the comment section goes, you idiot, they're the same country. So before you leave that comment, keep in mind, the other people commenting after you say that are not going to be friendly. At least they weren't the last time to the last person that said that. If you think the Netherlands and Denmark are the same place, you need to tell Germany because Germany's in between them by land, and the North Sea by water. The Netherlands is one of the best countries for a comfortable retirement, and this is because it's got a high standard of living, a welcoming population, and a huge expat community. North Americans moving to the Netherlands is nothing new. This has been going on more and more over the last, it's been going on since forever, but over the last 30 years, it's become quite the thing. They also have a good healthcare system, a good work-life balance. Compared to a lot of other countries in this part of Europe, the Netherlands aren't that expensive. $100 worth of stuff in the United States costs about $88 in the Netherlands. Their global retirement index score is 75%, and what you need to live there comfortably is $4,787 a month. Number 7, Luxembourg. Luxembourg is a great country. It's very small and they have a high quality of life. It's one of the best countries in Europe when it comes to retirement finances. Apart from that, definitely has a high standard of living and welcoming communities. Now, one thing to keep in mind, all these countries don't just open up the doors and let you in. Some countries make you jump through so many hoops, you think you're a poodle on the Ed Sullivan Show. And if you got that, congratulations, you're over 60. And I do mean congratulations. That's the goal. Get older, right? Not everyone does. But as far as getting into a country, Luxembourg does make it kind of difficult. Now, this could change in months. This could change in a couple of years. Right now, it's considered kind of hard to get into this country to be a citizen. Not as bad as Liechtenstein, but they're up there. When it comes to their goods and services, they're a little more expensive than the United States. $100 worth of stuff in the US costs you about $103.4 in Luxembourg. Their global retirement index score is 75%. Now, this is where it gets a little expensive because there's, real estate is not cheap here. What you need to live here comfortably is $7,600 a month. Yeah, it's kind of rough. Number 6, New Zealand. New Zealand is one of the richest countries in Oceania, and it is one of the best countries to retire for North Americans, since it's widely regarded as having the capacity to withstand extreme global economic collapses, should there be one. This, of course, has to do with its strategic location, agricultural abundance, and economic self-sufficiency. The country also has one of the most generous social safety nets. It also has what's considered a decent healthcare system. According to the Commonwealth Fund, they get pretty high marks. They rank them like 1 to 20, and most of theirs are under 7, except for one. Outcomes. That's not a good thing. It's ranked 9. Still not terrible, but everything else like preventative care, they get high marks. Coordinated care, they get high marks. Affordability, great marks. That's compared to the United States, where almost every single one of their rankings or their scores is above 10. The way they do that is the lower the better. So 10, 11, 12, 15 in some of their cases in the United States. Yeah, you definitely get better healthcare in New Zealand. And that draws a lot of retirees in. Now, when you look at their affordability, you kind of have to take Auckland out of the equation. Auckland is one of the most expensive cities to live in the world right now. But their global retirement index score is 75%. For goods and services, $100 worth of stuff from America costs about $101 in New Zealand. That's not bad. What they say you need to live comfortably in New Zealand, $4,138 a month. Number 5, Australia. Yep, not too far away from New Zealand, you got Australia. Australia has the largest economy in Oceania, which is strange because New Zealand is considered the richest country in Oceania. And it's one of the most economically prosperous countries in the world. And it's got a sizable expat community in all their major cities. Nothing goes on the inner part. The outback, basically, of Australia is it's a wasteland for the most part. It's beautiful, but hardly anyone lives out there. Saw a great thing about the Outback years ago. And this guy said, you could drive around the Outback for 2 days and not see anyone. And 2 months before you see someone worth talking to. The global retirement index score for Australia is 76%. They have a lot of retirees from the United States and Canada here. Now, it's a little more expensive than the United States. $100 worth of stuff in the United States costs $107 in Australia. Now, the next one varies greatly depending on where you are in the country. I mean, their cities can be extremely expensive, but you got a lot of small coastal towns that really aren't that bad, and ones that aren't that coastal. But what you need to survive overall for the country is about $5,036 a month. Number 4, Ireland. I was surprised at this one. I didn't know Ireland had that good of a thing going on for retirees, but apparently they do, because here they are. Now, these aren't my opinions, and I'm not just putting countries where I think they go. I'm going by what the World Bank said. Ireland is really known for its low corporate tax rate. It's like the lowest in the world. And it's one of the top countries for foreign investment. It's also one of the easiest countries to immigrate to. Tax benefits for retirees here include no wealth tax, possible tax exemptions on income generated outside of Ireland. They're very tax-friendly in Ireland, and I think that's why a lot of retirees will move there. Even though they give you a bunch of breaks on taxes, it's a little bit more expensive when it comes to goods and services than here in the United States. $100 worth of stuff here in the United States costs about $110 in Ireland. Their global retirement index score is 77%, and you need about $5,834 a month to live in Ireland. Number 3, Iceland. Iceland is getting more and more popular in recent years. I mean, it's beautiful in this kind of desolate island type of look. It's like a big volcanic rock with geysers popping out here and there, and then beautiful cities. It's a really strange place, but it's beautiful and strange at the same time. Iceland is one of the best countries for a comfortable retirement due to its high standard of living and strong social welfare system. Healthcare here is good, but it's also cheap, with many of the healthcare costs covered by the state. They also have a thing where, now I wasn't totally sure if I understood it right, but what I gathered, I'm missing a lot of details here. They have a cap for how much a patient can be charged. Now it is number 3 on this list, and it has a pretty good score. The global retirement index score for Iceland is 79%. Goods and services are a little expensive. $100 worth of stuff in the United States will cost you $120 in Iceland. What you need to live there comfortably in retirement, $5,685 a month. It's a little up there, but it is a great country to retire in. Number 2, Switzerland. Everyone loves Switzerland. It always shows up on one of those happiest country lists. It also shows up on the countries with the highest quality of life lists, most beautiful countries. Everything goes right for Switzerland when you're looking at it from a statistical point of view. And then you go there and you realize the statistics didn't do it justice, but that does come with a price. Switzerland has a high quality of life. They also have a high cost of living and a high standard of living. The good news is their taxes are some of the lowest in the world, and they've got an excellent healthcare system, which is great if you're a retiree. If you're watching this and you're in your 20s, why do I keep talking about healthcare? Well, as you get older, you'll realize that is a big part of your life. And in case you're wondering when it starts, around 28 is when I realized things were starting to hurt a little bit. Then again, I did a lot of damage in the military, so maybe I was a little bit early. By 35, you'll sleep wrong on a pillow and not be able to go to work for 3 days. Switzerland's global retirement index score is 80%. Phenomenal. Now, their goods and services are very expensive. $100 worth of stuff in the United States would run you about $131 in Switzerland. They suggest you have about $7,454 a month to live comfortably in Switzerland. All right, before we get to number 1, if you didn't catch on by now, we have another channel called On This Day. There's a link for that down below. We're trying to grow it. All the money goes to classrooms across the country. All right, on to number 1. And number 1. Norway. Yes, Norway, like Switzerland, is one of those countries that always seems to be on the happiest list, the best quality of life list, the country with the most blonde women list. That might not be official, though. Sweden gives them a run for their money. But Norway is considered the best country for a comfortable retirement, according to the Global Retirement Index, with the highest scores in metrics like retirement finances, material well-being, old age dependency, and governance. Norway is beautiful, Norway is rugged, and Norway can get cold. But it is one of the best places to retire on planet Earth. If you can afford it, it's kind of expensive. Their global retirement index score is 81%, which is outstanding. What it costs for goods and services there? Well, what you'd buy for $100 in the United States would cost you $108 in Norway. That's for goods and services. And what they say you need to survive? $7,959 a month. That is pricey. But if you could afford it, probably worth it. Maybe later we'll do the most affordable, decent ones or something. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, before we get to the end of this video, I thought this would be interesting. I'm going to tell you what the most expensive place to retire is on the planet. It is Bermuda. Bermuda, $100 worth of stuff in Bermuda goes for about $157. And what they suggest you need to live comfortably in Bermuda? $10,437. Brutal. And their global retirement index score is 69. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, and be nice to each other.